Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome to the East West Show. Jack Chow on the East West Show with G&E TV. Today I have a very special guest here. As you may see, the familiar face. When I say familiar, I mean this is not the first time he is on the show. And also, I may mean that you might have seen the face somewhere else, such as on the film, right? Okay, anyway, so with me today, talking about his wonderful China visit with a group of delegates to China is Mayor of Yorba Linda, Mr. Jin Hernandez. Welcoming you to the show, sir.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate being here as always.
Oh, very good, very good. And you know, the city of Yorba Linda is getting a very, very high, and I mean fast-growing reputation. Not only here, but internationally, we're talking about in China. Lots of people ask about Yorba Linda. Even my last visit to China, my friend asked me, how far are you from Yorba Linda? They say, I said, why you ask Yorba Linda? They say they have beautiful houses. I said,
yes, we do.
I said, that means you have beautiful money, right? Okay, very good. So anyway, you just came back from the trip.
I did. Literally just got back. Monday, I think, was our day back. Was it Monday? No, a week ago Monday. A week ago Monday, yes.
I see. All right. And how many days you hang around in China?
2 weeks. I was there 14 days.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yes.
How many members on the delegates?
Well, let me explain, Jack. It was actually 2 trips. The first week was a friendship signing delegation. Myself, the city manager, and one of our past presidents of the Chamber of Commerce. And we went to Hunan province.
I see.
And we were there to sign a friendship agreement with a city called Shangtan. And then the second week was a trade delegation mission of elected mayors and a congressman and 2 assemblywomen to the Beijing, actually a number of cities, so I don't forget, it was Beijing, Yancheng, Nanjing, Kunming, Sanya, and Haikou.
Oh, you picked the most beautiful cities.
They were great. They were great cities.
Right.
Had a wonderful time. In the first week in Hunan province, we stayed primarily, in fact, totally in that province, but we flew into Changsha, then we went to Jiangtan, we went to Shoshan, and then had a chance to take the high-speed rail. It was wonderful.
Wonderful. And who was behind the trip? Who organized it?
Okay, there are 2 groups. One, the first group was the president of it's called the Hunan Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce, and his name is C.J. Doan. And he met with, the real impetus behind Yorba Linda going was a gentleman by the name of Pedro Chan. Pedro Chan lives in Monterey Park part of the time and has a place in China. He was actually born, you're wondering, Pedro, how'd you get that name? Well, he was born in Macau, which has Portuguese roots. But Pedro is a very interesting gentleman. He's the one that first approached me and said, hey, this city, the city in Hunan, Shoshan, which is the actual birthplace of Chairman Mao.
Mao Zedong.
Mao Zedong. And he thought, what a wonderful relationship with his birthplace and the birthplace of Richard Nixon, Yorba Linda. They would like to be a friendship city. And we thought there was a real nice symmetry there. And we said, yes, we'll do that. So they invited us to come over and to sign this friendship agreement. And we did that. And while we were there, they gave us a wonderful tour of Hunan province and that whole area there. And probably one of the most memorable moments for me was we had a chance to actually go to the Flying Tiger Museum. Pedro Chan has been very instrumental in donating material and getting this museum off the ground.
I see.
As you know, Jack, the Flying Tigers were revered by the Chinese. They really came to the forefront when China was being attacked by what they call the invaders, the Japanese invaders.
Japanese invaders,
and
yes.
We were
who surrendered yesterday, 73 years
That's
ago.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And in fact, we went to the city where they actually surrendered in China. They call it the Peace City, and that Peace City was called, I believe it's Zhangjiang, Zhijian. They call it the Peace City, and we went to the actual barracks where the Japanese general and his entourage actually physically signed that peace agreement, and it was very, very fitting. And to tell you this, the synergy, we went on the second week. I went with a group of mayors. They called it the U.S. Diplomatic Trade Mission to the People's Republic of China, and there we went to those various cities that you said were really nice cities. But one of the most meaningful ones was Nanjing, or as we knew it in this country, Nanking. And I was aware of the history of World War II because I'm a history buff, and was aware that the Japanese had invaded Nanjing in 1936 to 38, and just perpetrated horrible atrocities on the Chinese people. And in fact, it's known as the Rape of Nanking. And they have a museum to that, just like the Simon Wiesenthal Center in LA.
Big wall.
Huge wall.
In commemoration of it.
And they had us there, and we got a history, first-hand touch history, of almost 500,000 people that were brutally put to death in Nanking. And it was an amazing and very emotional impact. And you can't see something like that and not be moved. And what was really poignant, the woman, a survivor of that, wrote that book called The Rape of Nanking, which has become known.
Eileen Chang.
Yes, Eileen Chow, I believe. And I did know she ended up committing suicide because of her horrible experience. You talk about PSD. I mean, she just was unable to deal with the horrors that she saw.
Even during the process of her writing, she, of course, she's a much younger person. She was a much younger person.
Yes.
She could not have experienced that period of time herself. However, going into the archives after seeing that many pictures and evidence of the atrocity, she felt emotionally hurt. She could never come back. And she went along for it.
And I can see that happening because the atrocities are just unspeakable, and the number of people. It was just wanton disregard for life. The other thing that was very moving, we got to go to actually Chairman Mao Zedong's home where he was born in, I believe it was Shaoshan, yeah. And we went there and we were able to participate. I was very proud of this. The laying of the wreath in Mao's Plaza. So they got us laying the wreath. They do this, I guess, daily. This recognition, and I got a chance to personally do that and see his home and walk through it, and that was an amazing experience. And that's nothing to say of the food.
You did something most of the Chinese didn't do.
Yes, I understand that.
You went to somewhere lots of people do that.
You know, and I'll tell you another highlight. When we were in the in Sanya, by the China Sea and the Yellow Sea, we got a chance to go to the Stone Forest. The Stone Forest is on the National Register of Historic Sites, National Heritage, and that was amazing. That the Stone Forest. Oh my gosh, and it was quite a trip. But I found the people very friendly, very gracious. The food was phenomenal, especially in Hunan, which specializes in very spicy food.
Very spicy.
I love spicy food. And it was amazing.
And fatty.
I don't know if it was all that fat. They don't have a lot of sugar or carbs. So we ate a lot of protein, a lot of fish, a lot of pork. There were some interesting things that I'd never eaten before. Pig's ear, chicken feet, duck tongue, duck heart.
Did you try them?
I tried everything. Yeah, I'm an adventurous eater.
Like them or what?
I love them. Actually, I love them. You know what my favorite was? I had noodles every morning for breakfast. Really good noodals.
Right. Good,
Each city tries to compete Who has the best noodles?
Oh, it was all right. Yes, okay, very good.
Amazing experience.
And what impresses me is that the mayor of Yorba Linda, the birthplace of Richard Nixon, met with the mayor of Shaoshan, the birthplace of Mao Zedong. When those two leaders, back in 1972,
yes,
reestablished the relationship between U.S. and China, right? So that was a landmark. That was a huge milestone.
Huge. In fact, they call it the handshake that changed the world.
The handshake of the century. That was they called.
Yeah, and it
right?
did change the world. It opened it up, and the Chinese were very thankful and respectful, as were the Americans. We finally learned you can't ignore 1 billion people. You need to develop a relationship.
Exactly.
And that's what I found, Jack. You know, a lot of people said, oh, gosh, with all the trade war stuff going on, how did you find it there? We didn't even talk about that. That's the government level.
Very
This
good.
is a relationship people to people.
Very good.
That's how change
All right,
comes.
let's take a very short moment out. Today, I believe I'm talking to the right person, the very right person who just came back from China from a significant visit. And I believe he had a bunch of information to imbue the moment of right now when everybody is worried about the quote-unquote trade war stuff, what's on. Okay, we'll be right back, please. Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences, my dear fellow Americans. Welcome back to the show. As a matter of fact, it is a very, very, very important discussion. It's not politics, it's not whatsoever. It is people. It is about people. With me today is the mayor of Yorba Linda, my dear friend, Jan Hernandez. I respect him a lot because he tells nothing but the truth. And he does have the kind of image to everybody that he impressed the people that only truth can speak. He just came back from a big trip to China, and the first stop with a delegation of the city of Yorba Linda to sign this friendship whatsoever, relationship, treaty or whatever agreement with the city of Changsha, the birthplace of Mao Zedong, whereas Yorba Linda is the birthplace of Richard Nixon. That refers to the handshake of the past century. All right. So, and with that, welcome again to the show. Back to the very point, I believe at the ending of the last segment, though, you mentioned one thing very specific. It was nothing politics, but people.
Well, it was interesting. The second half, the trade mission with the mayors, we attended the second mayor's conference in that area. In fact, that area I want to say was Kunming.
Kunming.
And in Kunming, we actually talked with our counterpart mayors from China. What were their issues? What are they looking at? How can we help them, and how they can help us? What I found interesting, they are very, very supportive of the premier's Xi Jinping's push towards greater involvement in cleaning up the environment. Made a big issue of this, that they want cleaner air, cleaner water. How can we help them with that? Because we've made that a priority here. And I talked a lot about how California is a desert, and that we have a shortage of water, and we have to take care of that precious resource.
Okay.
And we've done that very effectively. And they wanted to know how, and they wanted to talk about that. So, in fact, I think we developed a relationship with another city that wants to be a friendship city with us. So I'm going to do a little more exploration of that. And that city was a city called Yangzhou in Jiangsu province. They say it's very nice. They say it's very similar to Yorba Linda.
Oh, Yangzhou. Yangzhou is a beautiful city.
They are enamored with us, and they want to have a friendship city.
They say it's the birthplace for a beautiful woman.
That's what they said. Yes. Yeah. In fact, next year I'm planning to go back to them to do that.
Okay. During all your visit to all the cities, Changsha and Kunming, and also to Jiangsu, to Liuzhou, did you get any chance to talk about politics? Or did you actually talk about politics?
We talked politics very briefly. One of the governors, Chinese governor, had talked about to our representative chair, which was Jesse Gomez, had mentioned, what do you think about the trade wars? And I thought Jesse handled that very well. He said, you know, that's government to government. There's a lot of negotiations and maneuvering, but that's not why we're here. We represent a number of cities with different political backgrounds, and we're here to learn more about the culture and about the people, and we found them to be very gracious, very warm, very friendly, and that really dominated the conversation. So we didn't really talk about politics. They're more interested in how do we help clean up our environment? How can we work with you? Yorba Linda,
now and in the future.
In the future, absolutely. You know, they want to talk about IT and biomedical breakthroughs, those kinds of issues. That's where their meat and potatoes are. They're not concerned about the politics. They know that that's up here. That's an artificial dialogue.
And especially there's another highlight that I would like to point out, though. The first visit to Changsha, to Shaoshan, the birthplace of Mao Zedong, from the hometown of Richard Nixon, right? So that makes a significant first stop. And secondly, you stop at Kunming of Yunnan, of Yunnan province. You know, Kunming was the birthplace where the Flying Tiger first landed.
Yes.
And also the airport, the U.S. Navy officers, the Air Force officers helped the local people to build up the road called Kunming, Burma Road, called Burma Road.
The Burma Road.
To aid with the logistic activities to aid the war, to aid the Chinese.
The Red Ball Express, they called it.
See?
Yes,
See?
and that was, and we saw that.
That was your second visit. You saw that?
We saw that airport. The Red Ball Express actually was through the mountains over Burma into China. Very dangerous route. We lost a number of our servicemen, but they flew it religiously, and they greatly supported the Chinese because
they were many of them buried there, and the farmers, the local farmers, even these days, still pay respect to the tomb, to the buried land, to the brave soldiers.
That was very clear, Jack. That came across very clear. How respectful, how heartwarming, sincere feelings that you helped save our country kind of attitude. And it was really wonderful.
The appreciation, the deep felt gratitude, and then the reciprocation.
Yes.
Right? Like you say, we know nothing. We don't talk about politics. We do handshakes. Well, we talk about business, we talk about today, we talk about future.
Actions speak louder than words. And those actions during the war made a bond, a friendship bond with China and the U.S. It'll never be broken.
Exactly.
You know, when you make that kind of friendship bond in war, when your life is on the line.
Later, with the bombing of Tokyo, that was to many of the bombers one mission of no return. Because of gasoline.
That's correct.
And the gasoline tank will be just enough to go there and the bomb, and then
maybe get to the China coast, and that's what a number of them did.
And that was they planned that way. They get China coast, they landed whatever, forced landing whatsoever.
Yes.
And it was the Chinese farmers who helped to aid them to cover them, and some lost lives in doing that.
That's correct.
And there are 2 villages got slaughtered, vanished by the Japanese.
It was so emotional. When we were at the Nanjing Museum, it was so emotional to see all the Chinese who came from all over the country come to this museum, and to see the genuine sorrow and empathy they had. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
Exactly.
To see the numbers that this was done to.
It almost.
How can that happen? How can people be that cruel? Well, just like the Germans did with the Jews. How can they be that cruel to their fellow man.
Worse than that, much worse than that, right? So
It was horrible. It was horrible.
So horrible. It was so horrible, right? Okay.
And that's why it's important we go to places like that, so we never forget. When you forget your history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Good point. Good point. Very good point. And also, it is always a good point to emphasize on that it was difficult times that made people, the tie of people, to come together. They will never get apart.
And I saw that in small villages and on the outskirts of town, genuine appreciation. When we met Chinese, and we met a lot of local Chinese in villages, and they were so genuinely friendly and respectful. Curious, there was not a lot of white faces they see in that area, Hunan province, at all.
And especially when you were there, that was last month, right?
Yes.
That was last month. The trade war has broken already.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So do you see anything different on the face of the Chinese people? Or here comes the goddamn Americans?
No,
whatsoever?
we never saw that. I never ever felt that. I always felt a genuine respect and pride and warmth. It's the best thing I can say. Genuine friendly warmth.
And I can see also by the arrangement of the stops, though, it really makes lots of sense to the birthplace, right? And then to the significant war cities, right? We're
What they wanted, Jack, is they wanted
and
us. Nanjing. They really wanted us to get a feel for their province, for Hunan. They just didn't want to be a friendship city in name only. They want to really establish a relationship. They want to come here and visit. I invited them all to come. I want them to see the Nixon Library,
all right.
and we'll show them some of our water treatment plants that we've been doing. So there's a genuine bond that was made there. I made good friends with the mayor, and I hope to capitalize on that through ongoing cultural awareness for our community, get them educated. We just opened up a new Asian market in our town called Tokyo Central. Very popular, just today, literally.
Oh.
And so we're very excited about that. We have a burgeoning Asian population in Yorba Linda, Chinese primarily, and we're very, very excited about that.
And the other day I had a long conversation with the mayor of Alhambra, Stephen Chen.
I know Stephen.
Right? And he had a very beautiful point. He says, what is the politics to us, to average Americans? It is our day-to-day life.
That's exactly
That's
right.
our politics. It's a tree in front of our house.
You know what? He is so true.
There's a gutter nearby.
Yeah, is the gutter clean? Are my roads repaired? Is the grass green? Are the trees growing?
That's the politics.
That's what impacts me.
That's
That's
politics.
people want to know.
Right,
The other stuff is all words.
As what you call for capitalism, socialism, whatever ism whatsoever, we do not even care, right? Okay. My dear friend, I believe that I'm really talking to the right person. I'm bringing, in other words, I'm bringing the crying baby to the mother. Okay, with me is my dear friend, Mayor of Yorba Linda, Jen Hernandez, a good friend, a true friend, who, of course, when you see Yorba Linda, you know what kind of wonderful job these guys are doing. Right?
Beautiful
So
city.
they are back, and he is just back recently with a city manager also.
City manager and a past president of the Chamber of
Past
Commerce.
president of the Chamber of Commerce of Yorba Linda, from a big visit to China, and he's sharing those precious moments, especially each of the single moment make lots of sense. Stay with us, please. Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show. Today, I'm really having a good time because I like no politics. I care for the bottom line. The bottom line being, you may call it the bottom line being a politics, okay. That is my politics, right? So a different name, only the same thing. And for that, at that level, the grassroots level though, Mayor from Yorba Linda with his entourage visited to China, to a city where Mao Zedong was born, from a city Richard Nixon was born, to a city Mao Zedong was born, to start the handshake. What can we do now? Something like that, right?
Exactly
What
right.
can we do for future, right? We did so good, so well for the past, though. What can we do? And then people say, hey, don't forget, there is a big fight over there. No. We don't care about that. Basically, the whole thing was in a process we didn't get, right?
Never felt that at all. Nothing but
See?
friendship and dialogue.
Beautiful.
You know what? It's all about relationship building. That's what it's all about. They're friends now. You don't fight with friends.
Yeah, exactly. And some of the remains of the fallen soldiers were shifted back to China. You know what the farmers did? They asked for some of his belongings.
Really?
And they buried the belonging, made a belonging tomb.
Oh, beautiful.
And each year on the clear day, they call it Qingming, which is April the 5th, which is the day every Chinese go to see their loved ones who passed away. They go to respect the belonging tomb.
I wish more Americans were aware of this.
That's how close the tie is.
Yeah, and that's my challenge now, to come back and share this with my fellow citizens, that you need to go over and pay our respects to our men that died in China fighting for their freedom. And they're there. And it's a beautiful museum, by the way. Very, very impactful.
And here, during the years of 1860 or something, the construction of the Pan American Railroad, though.
Yes.
Right. The Chinese came in.
Yes.
Right? They did the hardest job with the most precision, which was the most dangerous job. And even the American, back then, the press confirmed it. The Chinese coolies, right, did whichever part, the Sierra corridor, that whole thing, about 300 miles, the whole thing, Chinese railway workers did it. So
they're woven into our history, and we need to make sure people recognize and know that and respect that.
Okay, you made a very good point. That's a huge point, though. You come back, you want to bring this to the awareness of your citizens.
Correct.
Right? And then we, everybody of us, have to make ourselves aware. At a time when we needed help, the Chinese came to help us build our railroad.
That's right.
Which is still functioning.
That's right.
And without which we could not even have the freeway system.
That's right.
Right. So, all right. From there on, though, you guys went from Kunming, you went to Suzhou, right?
Yes, that was the next phase of the trip.
The beautiful woman city.
Oh, it was the beautiful woman city. What a pretty area. I will say the time of year was a little rough because it was extremely hot, like 110 and about 95% humidity. It was like being out in the jungle. It was real
You're
hard.
in the shower.
Oh boy,
You're in the shower. Yeah.
But beautiful. Those cities, by the way, China is developing rapidly and building beautiful cities.
Suzhou is an IT city also.
Yes, it is an IT city. Yes,
right?
and we went to, they call them enterprise zones. And we went to one of the IT enterprise zones, and they showed us what they're doing. Oh, beautiful, beautiful work. A lot of tech also occurring. In fact, we went to one place called, what was the name of it now? I can't remember the exact name of Bomar or Mobar. They actually developed new treatment for burn victims, an ointment that you can put on.
I see.
And it was amazing, amazing. So
I read an essay about it about 2 or 3 months ago. And they combined the Western medicine with the Chinese medicine.
That's right. That's exactly right.
To cure with the burn, the open wound.
That's right.
Burn,
That's
right?
exactly right. Yes. Oh, they're doing amazing work. Amazing work.
Yeah, okay.
In fact, they have a facility here in Ontario. So there was a lot of exchange of ideas for how we can cooperate with each other as far as businesses.
Exactly,
Us there and you here, and it's working. It's working.
And you belong, by location though, you belong to San Bernardino County, right?
No, we are in Orange County.
Oh, you're in Orange County.
Orange County,
All
right on the northern border of Orange County.
And I
We
don't
bump
know,
up to LA County and San Bernardino.
I don't know Orange County, but I know that San Bernardino County, and Yrus City, even in Yrus City, there are lots of useful land.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That could be turned into something good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something great.
Absolutely.
Well, why don't we invite them? Come over. They have money.
Oh, they have an open invitation. I've given that to them, and I'm
you did.
hoping to get them out here.
You did.
We get a number of delegations that come from China because they want to see the Nixon Library. So we are already getting a lot of that. But the groups I met with, I personally invited them. I want them to come out here. They want me to go back there again. I said, okay, but I want you coming out here because I want you to see.
Oh, by the way, with that mention, I owe Mayor an appreciation. Last time, a group of friends from China wanted to see Nixon Library on that very specific day because that's the only moment they had, and it was his book, it was his effort that made it happen. For that, I owe you appreciation.
It's very nice.
And he's helping us a lot. Of course, he's helping me. He's helping people understanding each other. That's it.
That's correct.
That's the whole thing, right? Okay, now, from Suzhou, where else did you go? I mentioned that you have a city, Sanya.
Sanya, yeah.
Sanya and Haikou.
Haikou.
What did you do in Sanya?
Sanya was pretty much our routine was the same. In the morning, we would meet with the local delegation of leadership. Generally, the governor would come and meet with us. The mayor, we'd have Chinese love to toast, so we had a lot of toast that would go around the room.
I know that for sure.
And then we'd have our meal, but we had to be ready for that meal because there's like 15 courses that come through on a Lazy Susan.
Right,
then we would exchange gifts, and the gift exchange would be. I took over some pins, some coins that had the Nixon Library on it, a couple of plaques, and in fact, I would like to give you one of the pins that I gave, and this is the pin representing our city.
Oh, thank you very much.
The city of Yorba Linda pin.
Oh, thank you very much.
You have the same pin now that the governor of Hunan has.
Oh, wow, good. What a pleasure, what an honor. Okay, good. And
we got to go to the ocean, so we sat on the beach there. It was very
that's
nice.
Exactly why I'm asking. I was in Sanya for 2 weeks.
Beautiful.
A year ago.
Beautiful city.
I had my honeymoon cut half in half, right?
Okay.
in 2 year part, right? So the second half of the second year though.
You went to Sanya? Oh,
Sanya.
I'd go back there in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Beautiful water.
Beautiful water.
Beautiful water.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Beautiful water.
And the hotel facilities, top notch. Top notch.
Oh yeah, huh?
Very nice. Yeah. Yes.
And the food.
The food was fabulous.
So
fabulous.
And the fish.
Oh, fresh fish, fresh fruit. The noodles, though. The noodles
right
are
out
my
of
favorite.
water.
Oh yeah.
Right out of water.
They make in Hunan. They make a dish with a whole fish that they cook and have a real chili pepper sauce on it. And after you eat about halfway, then they bring noodles out and they mix the noodles with that chili. Oh, that was my favorite. Absolute favorite.
And also on the street, though, you see lots of those peddlers doing small business, right?
Yes.
And making those little deli stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And one of them was the frying ice. Have you heard of the anecdotes? The frying ice.
No.
What they do is that watermelon, right? Watermelon added with some kind of juice whatsoever. They quote unquote fry on a pan, which is frozen.
Oh, really?
They freezing dry fry it. They look like a frying. Look like frying.
Like on dry ice?
Yeah. It is matter of fact frozen, getting frozen.
I didn't try that. I'll have to go back and try that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
They call the frying ice or fried ice or something.
Fried ice. Interesting.
Fried ice. Yes.
Well,
fried ice.
I had so much good food there. It wasn't even funny. That's very memorable too.
However,
and every place.
However, that city, Sanya, has lots of room for development.
Yes, they do. Do. And they're working on that.
They have the land, they have the beach.
They do.
They have the resources.
They do.
Especially the seafood resources.
Yes.
And the weather is so
It's
beautiful.
cooler there.
Cooler there, yes. Yeah. It is. Right, it is. So my dear friend, today with my mayor of Yorba Linda, Mr. Hernandez, We're having lots of fun about his visit. We have about 1 or 2 cities left. Well, I want to touch base with each of the city. This great man, on behalf of the United States, on behalf of Yorba Linda City, has set food on, because he is setting food on the land of will bring understanding to people. And he just said it. He wants to bring this awareness of his citizen, and vice versa. Right?
Well, what happens, Jack, when you don't know people, you tend to fear them, and you think the worst. Once you establish a relationship and know the culture, you realize how beautiful it is. That's the way to get world peace.
That's the way to get it.
That's how you get to world peace.
Exactly.
When you understand each other.
Yeah.
They want the same thing we do. They want a happy life. They want to be able to take care of their children.
After
they
all,
want to live
we're
in
the
peace.
same kind of human, right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, good. We'll be right back, my dear friends. Hello, my lovely audiences, my dear friends, my dear fellow citizens of the United States. Welcome back to the show, talking about a wonderful visit paid by a group of delegates from the United States, and the second part of which was headed by a congressman, right?
A congressman, yes, Jesse Gomez. Very, very nice man. Very open, and a wonderful leader
And
for
2
us.
assembly members.
We had 2 assembly members. We had Wendy Carrillo, and we had Luz. Let me give her name. I have it right here. She was just a wonderful person. Let's see who we have here. Luz Rivas. And then we actually had a supervisor from San Bernardino County, Josie Gonzalez. In fact, I'll just run through this real quick. We had Aquanetta Warren, the mayor of Fontana. We had Sean Ashton, the mayor of Downey.
Sean Ashton was there.
Yes, he and his wife
Sean.
Kim.
I know Sean.
Sean was there.
Sean's a great guy.
Good guy. Lori Davies, councilwoman from Laguna Niguel in Orange County. Richard Montgomery, a council member for the city of Manhattan Beach. We had George Esparza, who was the chief of staff for Assemblywoman Carrillo. Craig Young was our protocol officer.
Yeah, of course, Craig Young.
And then we had Zhu Zhen Biao. He was the chairman of the Shanghai Zhuzhen Supply Chain Management Group. So we had a businessman with us. Then we had Helen Yu, who was the U.S. Sino-Friendship Association vice president. So that was our group. And it was a great group, good people.
Okay, in the overall visit for 2 weeks, though, what was or what had been the highest ranking of meeting or conference whatsoever? And on the other end, though, what is the bottom line, very, very bottom visit? For example, a farmer's house or something? So
yes,
did
both.
This happen both ways?
We had it both. We had well, the premier actually wrote us a letter thanking us for coming, but we met with a couple of the deputy premiers, chairmen. I mean, they were very, very high-ranking officials. What would be the equivalent of our governor of our state? Many governors.
I see.
And then on the other spectrum, one of our the member of his name, I'm sure you know, is Simon Pang. Simon is a president of the U.S. Sino-Friendship Association. We went to his ancestral home, and that was in Sanya.
Oh, interesting.
And it'd been that village had been there for 500 years. And so there we met with farmers and just regular working people in getting their hands dirty. Amazing people, very friendly, very in awe. They don't ever see white faces there. So to see Americans particularly, they were just so friendly and
the
so
first time
appreciative.
for everybody.
The young kids, they would just look up at you with wide eyes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And, you know, they just,
good.
maybe it was the fact that I look like Colonel Sanders. I don't know, but they were definitely enamored.
Okay, very good, very good. And the Yusanya, there is a place, as a matter of fact, there's a piece of rock like this big, though, and it says that that's the edge of heaven or something.
Yes,
Did you go
it
there?
does. Yes, we did, and I do recall seeing that. The other rock that I thought was impressive was in Changsha. We saw there's an island that has be the equivalent, I call it a Mount Rushmore, a big stone image of Chairman Mao on it, huge. That was really, really impressive. Yeah.
Oh, it's carved.
Yeah, that's carved.
Carved
out of stone.
As the Stone Hill, right?
Yes.
Stony Hill, carved halfway.
Yes.
Ah, I see. All right, and this is recent years. Back in the old days, there was none. There was none.
You know what? You almost have to go to China every other year, and you will see dramatic change. Dramatic. I was there 2 years ago, and it's changed since when I was there. It's beautiful, actually. Beijing, that's a beautiful city. They're still working on the air quality in Beijing, but they're working on it. That's a big push for the premier. He wants to see that.
And you just now mentioned about signing some contracts on cooperation or exchange whatsoever.
Yes.
So what did you reach at the end of the trip?
Well, the first one was the formalizing of our friendship relationship with Shengzhou. That's our Shengtan. That's done. As a result of that mayor's conference with fellow mayors, a mayor there reached out to me and said, we would like to be a friendship city with Yorba Linda because we have very similar cities. That city you said is real beautiful.
Yeah, the birthplace. Yeah.
So we set up an arrangement that I'm going to go back there in a year to start paperwork on that.
All right. Okay, very good. And talking about in Shaoshan, there was a statue of Mao Zedong.
Yes.
In city of Yorba Linda, do you have a statue of Richard Nixon?
No, not like that. This was a huge stone monument. We have.
I'm not talking about that big, though.
No, we really don't. That's a good point. We don't. Maybe we need to look at that.
Probably you are looking into it because some of the Chinese money would be probably interested in getting
That's a
involved.
good idea. That's a good idea.
You know why? Because in China, the name of Richard Nixon was so deeply commemorated.
That it was very clear, Jack.
So deeply
very
commemorated. People back there, I mean in China, may want people, even in the United States, remember the big name of Richard Nixon.
Every high-level meeting I attended, sooner or later, the top individual said, Yorba Linda.
Yeah.
They know Yorba Linda.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why my friend called me and say, hey, how far are you from Yorba Linda? You look around for a house for me or whatsoever, like something like that.
But we have a lot of new houses going in.
I know,
so
but with
come on down.
I know that I'm not the first one thinking about it.
No one's ever mentioned that to me.
Some of the money will be going that way. Some in the front. The land belongs to the city, right?
Yes.
The land belongs to the city. So in the front of the library, well, using the fountain, where the fountain is, could be a good spot for a statue.
Well, we're having a debriefing of our trip next week. I'm going to bring this topic up.
Yeah, sure. And lots of people, rich people that I know, would want to think about it. Right? Good.
Well, good.
Okay. So altogether, so do you have a council meeting whatsoever talking about you guys sit down with the citizens to share about all this visit?
Yes, we meet every 2 weeks, the first and third Tuesday of the month at our council meetings. But yesterday at our Chamber of Commerce meeting, we gave a presentation on our trip to China. And in fact, one of my colleagues who attended did I'll have to show it to you, a beautiful pictorial book. Costco put it together from our photos, 100 pages, and it's a stunning visual of our trip. I'm going to have to show it to you. And then also, yes, we'd like to put together a meeting where we roll out what we did, how we did it, why, what we gleaned from it. So there's a lot of opportunity here, and we're hoping to do that. By that new Asian market opening up today, we're hoping to invite your listeners out there to come and enjoy some wonderful food there. It should be an excellent opportunity. Come to Yorba Linda in general anyway.
Yeah, the way we look at Yorba Linda is that it's a city prospering so fast, right? And the city getting known daily, right? And the city internationally long. You're talking about the same size of city, for example, say Long Beach, right? Say Anaheim, let's say like that. they are not as much known over there, but Yorba Linda is special. So you might want to make good use of your historical position and of course concurrent position, which is so important also to let the land develop.
That's good advice.
Right? Let land develop. And also, like I said, I can think of a monument. I mean, not necessarily, maybe a statue.
A nice statue,
Something
yeah.
like that, right?
Good idea.
Okay, my dear friends, today I had a very, very, very good time with my friend, the mayor of Yorba Linda, Mr. Jan Hernandez, who just came back from a wonderful trip of 2 weeks in China. And I believe even the notes right, are this thick. And for that, he is going to set a meeting with the citizens and the Chamber of Commerce. So they did a presentation already, and I believe at this show, lots of information were shared. And thank you very much for watching, my dear friend. We're a little over time, but I'm happy about it. And to Mayor, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Jack, as always. Thank you for the opportunity to meet your
Good.
your audience.
Same
Thank
here.
you.
All right, good.